For me, Halloween is that particular time of year that just welcomes the winter winds. The eerie feel and the cool climate just pairs so beautifully with the supernatural being of the entire place. But at the same time, as Halloween is always fun and most entertaining because I get to spook a lot of people. However, in today's cooking, we are going to get down and simple by creating one of those most soulful and comforting warm pumpkin pies. Let's get to creating it. Having roasted about a kg of red pumpkin at 180 degrees Celsius for a good 45 minutes, you can go right ahead and just boil it, but I prefer roasting it just so that the flavor is more charred, sweet and pronounced. With this done, we're just going to allow this to cool down and puree it and get to creating that gorgeous filling that encases within the short crust pie. With this done, we're just going to allow this to cool. Now here I've got created a short crust dough and I've allowed it to rest in the refrigerator for a minimum of 30 minutes so that the gluten rests and it's easier to roll out. To get this recipe, check on how to make a short crust pastry dough in my feed below. It's easy to create and this is one of the most easiest methods to get done. So you divide the dough into half and get to the Herculean task of rolling it. Roll the dough to about half a centimeter thick. If you're unsure, go a little more to about 1 centimeter thickness to get that perfect crust. Try and keep it as a circle and always line it about 2 inches all around your entire pie mold. So if your pie mold is a 9-inch mold, go and create this dough of about 11 inches round so that it fits beautifully within. As your dough is nice and even, just lift it, and here I'm using a pie mold that is older than me actually. It's my mum's pie mold and it has the fondest memory of all the pies that we created together as a child. And it also helped me actually be the chef I am today because these were one of the famous dishes that we enjoyed creating and bonding together over. So line this in. Don't be alarmed with the edges because we're going to cut this and trim it down. So just allow everything to set. Bring it a little inside and allow it not to have any air pockets in. So just go as liberal as possible and allow everything to set in. Ensuring that there are no air pockets in the mold, we're just going to coarsely cut this. Let it be about 1 centimeter over the pie mold because we're going to actually nip it and ensure that the crust is perfect on top. So just go right ahead and keep it. I like ensuring pies are as au natural as possible, rustic in nature, giving it that edge appeal. Keeping it as natural, we're just going to crimp the edges. So take 2 fingers, put it and give it a dip in the middle and just go around. So this enables you to get that perfect flan finish right at your crust circumference. With this nicely crimped all around and as rustic in nature as possible, very old school yet modern in its overall take, this gets chilled for at least 30 minutes and in the meantime we're going to create another pie crust and get to creating that gorgeous filling that goes within. With the second one chilling as well, it's time to get to creating that most gorgeous filling that is a cross between a pumpkin pie and a creme caramel. So I say that if a pumpkin pie and a creme caramel has a baby, this filling is going to be just that. Well, I've just got to preheating the oven to 220 degrees Celsius we are going to get to creating that gorgeous filling that I've been raving about for way too long. This pumpkin pie filling is as easy as it gets, and there are a lot of tricks employed out here so you don't get that hideous crack right on top in case you leave it in the oven for longer than expected. So in goes 4 whole eggs, and we're just going to whisk it along with about 150 grams of castor sugar and about 90 grams of brown sugar or demerara sugar. So just go in and whisk all this together till it gets to that beautiful caramel brown emulsion. As we whisk this and it gets that beautiful color, I'm just going to add a capful of vanilla essence into it and my easy to create gorgeous pumpkin spice. So just whisk this, and the pumpkin spice is really simple, and I don't create a batch because I just use spice that's readily available in my kitchen. So in goes about a semi-heaped teaspoon of cinnamon powder, half a heaped teaspoon of clove powder, and a generous sprinkling of some nutmeg. So about half teaspoon at random going in, and this gives that gorgeous flavor. You can go right ahead and add ginger powder, but I think it gets just too much and doesn't bring out the goodness of the pumpkin within. As you enjoy that sharp scent of warm spices, I call them my autumn spice collection, which just welcomes the weather right in. And as everything has mixed perfectly well, in goes about 400 ml of full fat cream. So just put that in and whisk it as well. This is why I say this is if a pumpkin pie and a creme caramel had a baby. This dessert would be just that. Finally, in goes the beautiful pumpkin puree. You can add a little water just to allow everything to emulsify, but ensure the consistency is as thick as this. Just scraping all this saffrony yellow goodness right into the bowl. Just get to emulsifying all this together. And this is ready to go into the chilled short crust pastry flan. A slight sprinkle of some sea salt just to balance things out, and you can totally avoid this, but I'm salt obsessed and I believe every dessert requires that tinge of seasoning. Most often the easiest way to create a pie is when you blind bake your crust. Now what is blind baking? After the crust has been chilled, you just fill in some lentils and put it into a preheated oven for about 15 to 20 minutes till it's just about done. However, I do not ever do that for a pumpkin pie because I like going back to when my mum used to create it, and our mothers always made pie from scratch, everything together right in the oven. The trick is for the first 15 minutes you bake it at 220 degrees Celsius, and for the remainder of the 45 minutes bake it at 180 degrees Celsius, allowing everything to cook together in perfect synchronization with each other. With everything well blended and chilled, it's now time to put this gorgeous filling right into the pie casing. So gently lift it and pour. Go as calm as possible. It's quite a Herculean task, but just go as calm as possible and achieve this great pie. With this filled right till about half centimeter off the rim, this goes bang into a preheated oven now. "15 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius, and then we will lower down the temperature. While I created the stuffing, at times I like to reserve a little batch of the gorgeous filling minus the egg and create quite a unique version of a pumpkin spice latte. Various styles come together. This has baked beautifully and just about ready, while you can see it nicely risen. Don't be alarmed because it's going to settle as soon as it comes down to room temperature. I've left the center to have that little bit of wobble so that it cooks as soon as it cools. It's advisable to allow this to chill for just about 2 hours before you cut it into gorgeous wedges and either enjoy it with some clotted cream or scoops of vanilla ice. This dessert pairs beautifully just by itself in this gorgeous fall autumny weather. I hope you enjoyed creating this gorgeous creation with me. Like I said, if a pumpkin pie marries with a creme caramel, this would be their baby. While it is firm, the filling is soft, creamy and decadent. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button. And as I always say, don't forget to subscribe.
Here I am where the movie started, facing at a photo they've taken. Space tree flying through the skies and petals happen.